3D printed one I gave to Dr. Mona. That one is about 35 rupees a piece. Whereas the disposable one I made, that's about 10 to 12 rupees a piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many can you produce actually in a day? I mean, if you escalate your production?
Look, it's honestly all just about demand, I guess, because no public hospital right now has asked me for any, and I've tried to reach out to many, but none of them seem to want to stock up on these. So I'm working on that. If the second hospital asks me for them, I don't know, I assume we can make about 200 a day.
Mihir, can you, so we are going to come to that. There's a news clip I read that Paris hospitals are turning to 3D printing to cover the shortage of masks. So can you explain what a 3D printer is and I mean, how it works and how did you get this idea?
Yeah, my James uncle just told me that my voice is really low. Is that
Just ask for a second and we connect this.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm connecting a mic.
Or come a little closer to the speaker. I think there's a lot of innovative stuff which is happening. What Mihir is doing is very innovative. In fact, one of the things which Germany is also doing is rather than taking a sample of one individual, they're actually collecting samples of 16. So if 16 they collect it together and test for COVID, then and none of them test positive, then all 16 are safe. So rather than doing individual sampling, they're doing that. That way they're actually trying to do more and more testing. And then they break down to 8 and 4 if somebody tests positive and results 16. But they can go more than that as well, but then the dilution of blood happens, so you can't test it properly. But Mihir, if you are back, just was filling in your place.
So a lot of questions are also coming in, Mihir. Can you keep answering because you are
Can
audible?
you guys hear me better now?
Let's see.
Can you hear me better now?
Definitely better.
Okay, cool. I'm wearing AirPods now. Okay, yeah, Archana, what was your question?
So my question was, what is a 3D printer? Tell us what it is, show us a picture, and then we'll take the other questions.
Okay, so basically, it's very simply put, a 3D printer is a machine from which I can design something on my computer, not like a drawing, like a 3-dimensional object, and send it to the printer, and from scratch, it will make that exact object very precisely. So it uses this plastic, it comes in a spool like this. Can you see this plastic wire here?
Yeah.
So it takes this plastic wire and pushes it into this nozzle, which is really hot. So it melts the plastic and then it draws on the surface of the printer to create a 3-dimensional object. So
in that sense, is it a bit like a glue gun?
Yeah. Who said that? It's just like a glue gun. Like a glue gun melts glue. This melts plastic, and then it lays the plastic down layer by layer. And if you see, I started another camera on my phone. Can you see that? There'll be a guy named Mihir Vardhan.
Everybody, please mute your screens.
Can you see what? There's another screen, Mihir Vardhan.
Hi Archana and everyone, please move to a second screen. Mihir is on 2 different screens. You'll need to move to the screen which says Mihir Vardhan to see what he's showing.
Yeah, he's showing his 3D printer.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is what a 3D printer is. This is the wire I was talking about. It takes this wire and it melts it over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start printing one shield right now, and hopefully by the end of the call we'll be able to look at that shield complete.
I can't see it. Where can we see it from?
Check out the screens at the bottom. Rakesh, please.
Yeah, actually, what you can do is, Angad, go to the next part of the page. The next page. That's on the top for me. Go to the next page. You see on the left hand side. I think that's where we.
Oh yeah, I can see.
Okay.
So right now you'll be able to see the 3D printer laying down a very fine line of white plastic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's over the course of the next half an hour, it's going to slowly print out one mask. So do you see that white line?
Yeah.
Now imagine thousands of those lines come together to form one mask.
Amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's
facial
basic.
mask or is it a shield again?
Sorry?
Is this going to be like a facial mask like the N95s or is it a shield that you're printing?
This one is a shield I'm making for a doctor in university right now. Okay, so yeah, hopefully by the end of this call, this will be done. Okay, Archana auntie, you guys can switch back to my other screen.
So now we also know the raw material that goes into it. It's the plastic thread. It's a thread or what?
It's like a wire, yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, as people get to know, I'm sure they're going to ask you for masks and they're going to ask you for production. I mean, pharmacies, hospitals, all of them. As people get to know, isn't it?
I hope so, because right now I don't see any doctors wearing these. So yeah.
Okay, now let me see what questions people have for this. The audio problems are all sorted out, and the price of the washable mask, Amit was asking you. But can you again tell the price of the washable mask?
That one's about 35 rupees, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mihir, can you stop sharing as well if you're not showing right now? That way at least we have a better view. Yeah.
So, Mr. Rakesh,
I'm not sharing, someone else is sharing.
Oh, acha, Mr.
Vishnu Prakash.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, somebody's sharing something at the bottom. You can't get rid of it.
Mr. Vishnu Prakash, if you can stop sharing your screen.
Help me there because I'm not doing it intentionally.
Okay, I'll don't worry, I'll log you off. I mean, I'll not log you off. I'll share mine and then stop sharing. Don't worry.
Please, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Can we continue,
perfect,
Rakesh?
Yeah, now it's good.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Rakesh Khanna is asking, he's going to UIUC. So, 2 questions. Did he give the IIT exam and his opinion of the IIT system? And the second is, once he's finished his studies, is he planning to come back and solve India's problems or plan to solve some other country's problems? India needs you here.
Okay, yeah, I didn't do any IIT exams. I did the SAT and I gave some APs. I don't think I'm smart enough to give the IIT exams. It's extremely difficult. And after UIUC, it's very easy for me to say that I would like to come back, but let's see what happens.
Good. It's better to be honest.
Yeah.
I hope India lures you back. So till then, let's get on to the next question. A robot that shoots you in the face. Wow. I can only imagine what ideas must have gone into your head while making that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So in about 10th grade, I realized that not everyone shares the same passion for robotics as I do. And so I wanted to figure out a way of getting people interested in robotics. And so instead of making like super practical robots that actually solve problems, I wanted to start making robots that are like funny, attract people, get them interested in robotics. And so I made this robot which had a webcam like this one on top of it. And it used computer vision to track anyone's face. And then it would use a little gun to point at that face and shoot. It's a toy gun.
Which can be replaced by another one too?
And yeah. So yeah, after I published that video, I think it got like 50,000 views on YouTube. And I had a whole bunch of people messaging me about robotics. And so after that is when I started the Robotics Society, and the kids that initially were interested from that robot, they joined my society, and over the course of a year, I helped them become robotic.
So, James is asking, what is the craziest thing you've ever made?
Okay. What's the craziest thing I've ever made? Okay. So I built a 3D printer, but that wasn't the craziest thing I made. I tried to make a 3D printer in class 9, I think, and it worked, but it looked like a monstrosity. I will share you of it. That is definitely the craziest thing I've ever made. Here, you can see it now.
Oh yes, I remember seeing this.
This was huge.
Yeah, so this machine was the first 3D printer I ever made. It didn't print in 3 dimensions and it could only draw basic things. But yeah, this is when my love of robotics had peaked. So yeah.
And then persistence paid off.
I guess.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Do you dabble in those kind of robotics, like the ones in which you use breadboards and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, I'm very glad you asked that. So that kind of robotics is, around small computers like the Arduino. It's basically a computer you can program to do things for you. And so what I did was, with my robotics society, I actually wrote a book called The Game of Ones and Zeros, so that kids could get started with that type of robotics. So I'll share a picture of that now. Can you see that? So
Yeah.
This is a book I wrote with step-by-step projects so that kids can get into robotics. You from like boring tools, it teaches you with like individual projects, and it starts off very simple. It starts off with blinking an LED, but then by the end of it, you build your own autonomous car.
Excellent, Mihir.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the 3D printer that you built, were you using Arduino only or was it something else?
Yeah, I used an Arduino for that.
Oh, okay.
So we are going to come to that. Let me ask some more questions which people have asked. Mihir, well, I'll also ask you questions about the mask because some people have asked questions. Shivani is asking, how good is this compared to N95?
So N95 is a completely different breed of masks because N95 is designed for like respiratory diseases and respiratory gases, so it can trap those. Whereas this mask doesn't need to trap gases. It's designed for the COVID virus, which is actually transmitted by droplets. So it doesn't even have a filter. It just has cotton in front of it. It just captures the droplets, and that's all it needs to catch. It doesn't need to catch gases. So you can't use this after Diwali or something. But for the COVID virus, this is perfect.
So another question, James, we are going to come back to his the question of when he started. And first I'll ask Vineet's question. The disposable mask has plastic material. Why can't it be washed and reused?
Okay, that's actually a very good question, and I asked myself that like 2 days ago. The problem with this mask is that to comply with regulations, this sheet of plastic can't be touching your face. So it has this foam strip here, right? And so decontaminating that foam strip and this elastic band requires more effort than just buying another one because it's so cheap.
So how many tries does it take to make your 3D printer? Roma's asking.
Like how many attempts to make the machine itself?
Yes.
Oh boy, that was when I started in class 9. It was at that time. I don't think. Yeah, when I started at that time, no one was really making 3D printers. It wasn't a very common thing, and so I'm not sure if you guys remember, but I would go to the Worldspa e-waste bins and I would pick out the printers from it, and then I would open up those printers and take the motors out from them because no one was selling this stuff back then. So from 9th grade to now, in the past 3-4 years, it's become much more common. So now, anyone with a moderate to advanced understanding of computers can make a 3D printer.
Excellent, Mihir, and that's quite a lesson for all of us, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now also, you know, the B3 guard thinks I'm insane because every time someone drops something in the e-waste bin, I take it home. And, you know, it's kind of embarrassing because he told me I'm not allowed to take stuff from there. So I would just carry my empty school bag, put it in there and leave. But then one day he caught me. So like, it was very awkward. Yeah.
The whole Worldspire is going to support you now.
So cute.
Whenever you are looking into dustbins.
Yeah, because like whenever I go to someone's house also, I take a look at the e-waste bin. And you know, DLF Golf Club, oh my god, they have the best e-waste bin in town. Always full. I'm not even a member there. Yeah.
So the next question by Devank Agarwal. How fine can your 3D printer print? As in, what are the limitations, if any, of the design you've made?
Okay, very good question. Surprisingly good from my great friend Devank. So 3D printing, you measure in two terms, right? You measure how thick, when you're melting the plastic and pushing it out, how thick is that plastic? So in my case, the finest I can go is 0.4 mm, right? But what determines how nice the print looks is how thin the layers are. So the layers I can do 0.06 mm. So about 1/100th of a millimeter. So it's extremely fine.
Okay. And well, there's another one from Cameron. I don't know who Cameron is, but is the mask more of a shield than a mask? Can you make it provide ventilation?
Yeah. So right now I'm not printing any masks because surgical masks right now seem to not be in too much of a shortage. This is a shield, right? So it's not a mask. I printed one mask, but right now I'm producing shield. So the shield it has a lot of room for breathing.
Mihir, this is Mummy here. But in response to the question about fineness of the print, can you talk about the benchy which was really fine and the benchy which was larger? Do you have that with you?
Oh, yeah, that's a good example. My mother has interrupted.
It always takes a mom to give you the correct answer. Remember, Mihir?
Yes. Very proud mom listening.
Okay, I'm just finding that right now. Okay, so someone asked a question about how fine I can go, right? So this boat that you see here, can you see this boat?
Yes.
Yeah. So this boat is a standard measure of how precise 3D printers are. This boat is called Benchy, and people across the world print these boats, right? So if you look at this boat, it's very fine. You can't tell it was 3D printed. It looks like it was bought as a toy. But if I show you this boat, which is much bigger than this one, you can tell that this one is 3D printed. You can see the lines, right?
Yeah.
So this one is not as fine as this one. But what's amazing is that this took 3 hours to print and this took 3 hours to print. And look at the size difference.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Which you made?
Sorry?
Did you print this in the printer which you made?
Yeah, both of these were printed in the printer I made.
Oh, that's good, man.
Thank you.
So are 3D printers used to make Lego as well, Mihir? Parth is asking.
Oh no, I don't know much about industrial manufacturing, but 3D printers aren't used to manufacture at that scale. I think that's like injection molding or something. I don't know much about that. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. And James is asking, did you design things yourself for the 3D printer or did you get designs from others?
James Uncle is asking excellent questions. Someone should give James Uncle some brownie points. Okay.
So he's another intelligent guy.
So 3D printing is very useful and I use it mostly for robotics, right? I can actually design an entire robot on my computer and then over the course of 24 to 48 hours, the 3D printer will just print the entire thing for me. I don't have to lift a finger. I just have to use my brain, design the robot, and it makes it for me. So I can show you.
I like how he said, I just have to use my brain.
Yeah, I'm not a very physical kind of guy, so this robot arm that you see here,
yeah,
this entire thing was just 3D printed.
Very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Now,
I think the question is like, did you design it yourself? Like the
Yeah.
aesthetics of it, you had all those, what you could actually put it on your ears or your back. I think that is what the user design.
Yeah, so this benchy that I showed you, this is an international standard. I didn't make that. But the robot I just showed you, that one was my design.
Okay, great.
And
Mihir,
yeah.
Could you please talk about Fusion 360 and show maybe some of the drawings on your wall? Maybe that'll help folks understand how you design it. Is that possible?
Yeah, okay. That's a good point. So, basically, designing the body itself is not that hard. I have to take a software. Hold on. I'm sharing my screen again.
So you are using an AutoCAD or a Sketch?
The other screen?
Yeah, AutoCAD. Who said AutoCAD? This is just like AutoCAD.
Okay.
So what I can do is actually very, very simple. I can take any object and draw it in 2 dimensions. So I have drawn a square like I would draw it on paper, normal square, right? But if I take this square, I can extrude it into a cube. And so now I have a 3-dimensional cube. And so I can now take this cube and I can send it to my printer. This is the software I use to send it to my printer. And what this software will do is it will divide this cube up into a bunch of very, very fine layers. Do you see these layers here?
Yeah.
And so it'll individually print these layers out from 0 to 100 and it'll make my entire model like that. And so you can see that this cube will take 4 hours and 11 minutes to print.
Wow. So we move on to the next question, Mihir. What coding language is already answered did you use to make your printer? And there's another good question. Can the 3D printer print medical implants? Rakesh ji is asking. How many elements can it work with?
Ooh, that's actually a very good question.
Yeah.
One of my it's quite embarrassing, but one of my favorite TV shows is Grey's Anatomy. And so if you've seen Grey's Anatomy, you'll see that Meredith Grey could actually 3D print an entire kidney. So it's not like, I don't know much about medicine, and so I can't give you a very good answer on that. But I know that they can print valves and they can print like stuff like that. I'll have to research more on that.
Okay, so we move on, and we were talking about a robot that shoots in your face. You joined a robotics club in 8th and convinced your parents for a full-fledged workshop in your room. After that, you spent all gift money equipping it with tools, and now you have the biggest room in the house. How did your interest start?
Okay, I think it'll make more sense if I show you rather than tell you. So I'm going to switch to my phone again. Can you guys see my phone now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a picture of my workshop. And this is not how it started. Everyone asks me, how did you get such a big room and a workshop and stuff? I'll show you what I started with. This yellow toolbox is all I started.
Can you see the yellow toolbox?
We can't see.
Just
you
scroll the screen towards the left at the bottom.
Move your screen to Mihir's phone screen. Mihir has 2 screens.
Okay.
He's on the other screen right
Okay.
now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Thanks.
This is what it started with. This was the yellow toolbox my dad gave me when I was, I think, like 3. and I still have it. But slowly, every birthday, I would buy one more tool or like one more something, and then it slowly evolved into this. And initially I would keep them in one drawer in my room. Then it became too big for my room, so then I moved it to the guest room. Then it became too big for the guest room, so I moved it to my brother's room. And then I told my brother to take my room, and I took his room. So I somehow.
And when your brother went off to US, what did you do?
I took his
threw him
room. Yeah, I just took his room. I don't know. He was in the US. He couldn't do much. So this is one of the first big machines I bought, and this is a drill press, and I use it to make holes in materials. And my dad said कि यार अब कितने छेद बनाओगे कि drill press खरीदना पड़ रहा है. And now I think he realizes how useful this was, because I can actually use my drill press as a lathe. And so for some reason every single pot and pan in my house is missing a handle. And so now I can make handles for it from scratch. So this is a handle I made.
So everybody, when your pots and pans break and you need to do this, you know whom to contact.
Yeah, my grandmother got me to make knobs for all her friends. And again, when I was starting off with a 3D printer, it took me 2 years to convince him to buy me one. He said, what could you possibly print? So this is his favorite thing. This is a knob for our gas stove. Because all the knobs in our gas stove were broken, so I just 3D printed a new one.
Wow. I remember your dad once complaining that he never buys clothes, he never buys any fancy stuff ever. All he does is order stuff online, all tools, and every time he travels also, he goes to stores and picks up just tools. And I don't know how much money he spent on tools and stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process of years. So like the pliers you see here, my dad gave them to me like when I was like 3 in the yellow toolbox, and I still use them. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
You're going to really inspire a lot of young boys if they are watching. Because I'm sure a lot of them would be interested in robotics. I was also going to ask you to give us a virtual tour of your workshop, and we already have it now.
Yeah.
Show us nicely, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, I mean, so this is my electronics workbench. Here is where I do most of my electronics work, and then all the main like woodwork and stuff happens here. This 3D printer is the one that I built. And this 3D printer is the one that I bought. So both of them are kept on a table here. And right now actually, this entire shelf is just full of components for little electronic kits that I was making so I could teach kids how to do robotics. But with the whole coronavirus thing, I couldn't really teach anyone. So yeah.
Can't really see the...
How are you going to carry all this to US?
I'm switching back to my laptop, but
yes, please.
I don't know. Hopefully in the US they will have some lab like this for me. So.
I'm sure. So we move on. You built a quadcopter in 2016, and more recently your own 8-bit computer and a CNC machine.
Yeah.
So please explain these and their uses for the not so technical ones.
So I mean, mostly the projects I build are either to teach something to someone else, or to inspire someone else, or to learn something myself. And so, like, I remember in class 8, I was extremely curious about how drones work. And so I just decided that, all right, you know what, I'm going to make a drone now. And that was my first big project. And so I remember we went to Bangalore for a wedding, and I asked my dad to spend 18,000 rupees on parts for a drone, and he had no idea if it would work. But I don't know, he trusted me, and so about 2 months later, I had my own drone that flies. So I can show you the drone. So if you see here, this is the drone that I made. And you know how I was talking about the Arduino, which is a small computer that you can program to do tasks for you?
Right.
My 3D printer, that's built on an Arduino. The robot that shoots you in the face, Arduino. Even this has an Arduino inside.
So you were also talking about a course. So
Yeah.
again, explain Arduino and how did you design the course?
So, again, after I released the robot that shoots you in the face, I had a lot of kids that wanted to learn about the Arduino. But, I was fortunate enough to have parents from an electrical engineering background and they introduced me to all this stuff. But I can understand how it's difficult to get into all this. So in class 11, I designed a course. To teach kids the Arduino, and I tested it twice. Once on individual people and once in the society with about 50 kids. And so after that, once I had refined that entire course, I developed my own book and I developed my own kit. I wish I had pictures of them, but you get an entire kit and you get a book, and that book has experiments, not chapters, not writing, nothing, just pictures and experiments to teach you practically how to code and how to wire and how to do electronics. So I feel that that's the best way to learn. And so with about 10 or 11 projects, you can go from zero knowledge to about, I don't know, like average Arduino user.
Wow. So
is the course online?
Yeah, that's the problem. I really do like teaching, but I like teaching in person. With this whole coronavirus thing, I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So I don't know if anyone's interested in this, they can message me, but maybe we can do something on Skype or something. I don't know.
That's wonderful. What an opportunity for the other boys.
Yeah.
And Aryan is asking, what's one of the most useful tools you've had for robotics apart from the 3D printer?
One of the most useful tools I've had for robotics. This is an extremely difficult question because I have a lot of tools. I have no idea. I would say the Arduino only, because I remember when I was in 6th grade, again, someone asked the question, when did I start with the Arduino? I started in 6th grade. I was doing wiring and stuff. My dad taught me how to use little bulbs and motors since I was a kid. But I started with the Arduino in class 6, and at that time, no one sold it in India, so it was really expensive. And so that one Arduino, I used it for 4 or 5 years before I started buying more and more Arduinos. So yeah, the Arduino is definitely the reason I am, I built these many things.
So Mihir, this is Mummy again. Can I volunteer an answer? I want to say that your second most useful tool is probably the drill press, and I'm going to tell everyone on the line here that you've even made pizza dough on it. He's used it for drilling. He's used it for drilling holes. He's used it as a lathe. He's used it for woodwork, and now he's made pizza dough on it. So the next time if you offer pizza, just be really, really careful.
Okay, we are coming, Miriam.
Is that mom's favorite or yours?
Look, the pizza is very good. I pride myself in my pizza. It's just that I don't like goomboing it with my hands. So I made a machine to do it. Big deal.
So, Mihir, who's been supporting you more through the years, mom or dad?
Both. I mean, pick one.
You can say both and get the easy way out.
Yeah, it's definitely both. I mean, I think my mom has always been slightly more afraid of the tools I use, because one mistake and you can definitely very seriously hurt yourself. But my dad kind of calms her down, I guess. And then my dad didn't want to buy the 3D printer, and my mom finally got it for me. So I don't know.
Lucky boy. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
So give us Tiger's asking, what do you advise for a beginner in robotics and coding? Of course, I'm sure he knows that children can Skype you and start their lessons. And now over to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it depends. If the child himself wants to learn about this stuff like I did, you don't need to pay anyone to do anything, to be very honest. You can buy the kit yourself and you can research online. It's just a matter of, it's much harder to learn that way. I would recommend, for a kid to start, maybe start learning Python, do some fun little programming things, but that gets boring very fast. So if you want to do something practical and hands-on, you can buy an Arduino starter kit from me. I will deliver it in the next 20 minutes. Or you could buy from Amazon, and you can use my starter book to make 10 to 12 projects and get into the Arduino.
What's a basic set of tools that you would need to create practical project?
Oh, that's a very very good question, because people keep saying, even if I had an entire workshop, I would make all the things you make. I got this workshop in the last year maybe. Most of my life I just build stuff out of that yellow toolbox. So the basic things you will need to make simple robots is a small saw, a soldering iron, wire cutters, and wire. Honestly, I think you can get away with those many tools.
So honestly, it's the passion that counts, not the stuff that you have.
If you're looking for excuses, you can find a million. But especially growing up in Wolspa, we are fortunate to have parents who will unconditionally support us. And so even if you ask your parents for these tools, I am 100% sure they'll buy them for you.
I like you, Mihir.
Well, thank
First
you.
thing that you said,
Now
I
I can
forgot.
support that. Sorry?
What's the first item that you said? I forgot.
The first
Okay,
item.
so soldering iron, a small saw to cut stuff with, wire cutters and wire.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
A couple of more questions quickly, Mihir. Cameron asked, is your passion robotics and STEAM, and would you like to do this full time?
Yeah, definitely. I really would like to find a job, will hire someone who will just let me play around with this sort of stuff. I don't know if there's a job like that, but this is definitely what I want to do for the rest of my life. I've been doing it for the past 6-7 years, and I'm not tired of it yet.
Dell is asking which college. I'm going to answer that. He's planning to do electrical engineering in UIUC, US. And what are your career plans after this, Mihir? Quickly, we are going to answer. We have only 10 minutes.
Yeah, I have no idea what my career plans are. Hopefully, I get a job.
Oh, you will. People will be looking out for you. So, tell me, okay, Cameron is again asking, Aryan asks, we trust you in pizza, Mihir, of course. I'm sure he's eaten your pizza. I haven't. James is asking, who's your favorite Avenger?
James Hackler knows I haven't seen the Avengers, so... My God, James also.
Okay. Miglani is asking, what are good sites to learn Python? What other coding languages should we use?
Okay, all these questions I think are very specific questions, so I'll just put my number on the screen and you can ask.
Great, I think that's a great idea. And
just give me a second.
Okay, I'm going to continue with my question. I've seen you and your brother Sumer growing up during the last couple of years since we've been in Wolspa. Sumer and you. So what is Sumer doing? First of all, can you just enlighten us?
So Sumer is doing computer science at Duke University right now.
Exactly. Now my next question is that one is into software, the other is into hardware. Have you ever thought of doing something together? I'm sure he's a star, I know, and so are you. Both of you could do wonders with anything that you pick your hands on. So have you ever thought of that future?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is the I googled it. You can 3D print organs. But yeah, answering your question, we have actually paired up together once before, and that was for this project. This was one of my first projects I've ever done. It was a home automation system that uses a combination of Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Of radio frequencies and Bluetooth. So you're eliminating Wi-Fi from the equation. And it was honestly very fun working with him. And I guess, I don't know, if we come up with a cool idea, he's definitely one of the first people I'd ask for help.
Great. I'm sure you both are going to be very successful. So, okay, couple of more questions. Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
How about my LED matrix coding?
Oh God. Okay, fine. I'll show that as well. Whenever I need help for a project, I video call Sumer and he explains the programming to me. I'll show that as well. This one. In this picture, you'll see a very young Mihir and a very young Sumer working in at this time, I didn't have my lab, so I converted my hall into my lab. And that's Sumer and that's me. And we're working together on this project.
What exactly is this 5x5 matrix?
Basically, like I said, I like to teach, and so I wanted to help people understand how TVs work. And so TVs have millions of pixels that you can control individually. And so I made a TV, but instead of having millions of pixels, it only has 25. And that's what you see right now. So you can use this to display characters, and this was to teach people how TVs work.
So Siddharth is asking, are there any makers clubs in Gurgaon you would recommend?
I mean, right now everything is closed, but if you're interested, I can definitely message you some. I went to a club in Delhi, but there are many clubs in Gurgaon as well. There's one in South City, like behind our colony.
So just name it, because you are going to be an inspiration for many now, Mihir. Understand? And a lot of parents want to know more because they want to support their kids to also do something more worthwhile than they're doing, probably, like you.
Yeah, I mean, if you want your kid to have a good quarantine, I guess I could do Skype classes. But here my contact information is here. There are two clubs that are possibly the best. There's Robo Club, ROBO, I'll write it down here, in Delhi.
I'm sure they'll remember. Just answer quickly. We are running out of time.
And there's Robo Genius in Gurgaon.
Okay.
Would you be willing to give and lend any parts for some projects that maybe I want to make?
Right now, everyone is closed. I mean, I might have parts. If you want, you can ask me. But otherwise, honestly, the best place is this website that I just wrote down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Mihir, you've undertaken so many projects which took up a lot of time along with your regular school, and you've been scoring excellent marks. I know that. So tell me, was it difficult?
This excellent mark story is not true. I don't know where you got that from. My marks were quite excellent. My marks were quite excellent in 10th grade, but then after that, my project kind of took over. So to any parents out there, I would definitely suggest, balance it better than I did. I got very involved in my project, and I didn't score the best in school, but I don't know. What I really loved the most about school was taking science in 11th grade and 12th grade. I could actually concepts that we would learn in school in physics and math, I could use those in my projects at home, and that just blew my mind. So, actually finding an application for trigonometry, that really amazed me. So probably you could do a better job of balancing it than I did, but mistakes.
But you've been amazingly multitasking, Mihir. You've done these things and you're even ready to give back to the society. I mean, it's beautiful. And handling so many various portfolios at school, at home, it's amazing. And sorry.
Thank you for saying all that. But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't stress me out because this is what I love doing. Like some people play sports to de-stress. I build stuff to de-stress. So
what do you do to de-stress?
This is what I do. I build things, and I really like it. And I'm sure that there are so many kids out there who will love it as much as I do. They just need that little push to get inspired to start.
And I know you'd love to cook.
Oh God, yeah.
I know you're a part of the dogs whatever group.
Oh, that doggy group has become quite controversial in the last.
I would have asked you about that, but first I want to know, do you have any girlfriends?
Oh, do I have girlfriends? Yeah.
A robotic one?
No, but I make robotic things for her. one of my funniest projects so far has been she really doesn't like Modi. She really hates Modi. So I made her a bobblehead. When you put your hand in front of it, it says "Bhaiyo Behno" on his voice.
Can you show that to us? Is it around right now?
No, I gave it to her for Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
I heard my mother laughing right now from across the house.
So tell us, what advice now would you like to give the other children? I'm saying it again because you are a big inspiration. We are at the fag end of our discussion, and this is going to be a high point for a lot of parents and a lot of kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have many pearls of wisdom to give. I'm a kid myself, and so all I would say is that the time we have right now, this quarantine time, though I hope this never happens again, this is quite possibly the best time to learn something. Like I've never had this much time just forced to sit at home and do something, and so I taught myself a new programming language while I was at home. So honestly, stop screwing around, don't play video games, learn something new. You're not going to get this time again.
Thank you so much, Mihir. And thank you everyone for your patience. We are at the fag end. I know I haven't asked him so many questions, and I'm really thrilled at the response, Mihir, you've got. But we'll keep it for next time, or you can contact him separately, message him privately, and he's always there to answer your questions.
Yeah, all right.
Right, Mihir?
Yes. Thank you so much, Auntie. Thank you, guys.
Everybody. And we are now signing off. The music hour is about to begin. Anybody saying something?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mihir. I think this was wonderful. And I see a lot of kids also who joined in. So I'm sure they have your contact details and will be contacting you. I think somebody asked you for spare parts. So do give it to him as well.
Yeah, I will.
I'm really looking for an IC to build a buzzer for some game because we really fight over it.
But the power is in the
I can help you
software.
out.
I think power is in the software. Software controls the hardware. That's what I believe. But anyway.
One second. What? Okay, Rakesh uncle, we can have this discussion offline.
Yeah. All right, then we'll sign off. I think it was a great attendance. We had more than 78 participants. This was amazing. So thank you again, Auntie, for all your insights.
Thank you so much for coming, you guys.
Thank you.
Do you like drilling holes in
space?
Thank you.
Mihir, I have to come over for a pizza.
Yes, I may.
But you clean your machine before making that dough.
Yes, Auntie. I will.
And that's the machine, Mahir. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, uncle.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.